Well, hello. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Nick Sean, Sir Guru FX, Crypto Esquire, ruler of Mission FX, and of this YouTube channel. And today we've got a special video for you. You're in for quite the treat. We're interviewing one of our profitable clients named Jerry. Jerry got profitable with Mission FX, and Jerry's been profitable for a little over a year now. He's one of the hundreds of people who have gotten profitable following the teachings here at Mission FX, and today we're going to find out how. If you could be so kind and to hit the like button on this video before we get started, me, my team, my clients, and the Forex gods would greatly appreciate it. Without further ado, roll the clip.
Hey everyone, today we have Jerry with us. So Jerry, tell us something about yourself, where you're from and what you do.
Hey, what's up, Gerard? So basically, I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago. But I now live in Florida. Okay. So I've been here for the last 6 years. Before Florida, I was actually living in England, which is where I met my wife. I lived there for about 8 years. So yeah, in total, I've been away from my home country for quite a while.
Yeah, and you've been traveling a lot. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
So. Well, not recently because of the whole coronavirus stuff.
And I think it's better that way in the recent times not to have traveled.
Yeah.
Nice. So,
man.
How did you get introduced to trading, Jerry?
Oh, that's a funny story actually. So I had a friend of mine. I was in this group, this FIFA group. Okay. Everybody that I know, all my friends are big into playing FIFA, right? So we had this group where we'd kind of chat and just, go off and arrange to play games and stuff. So in one of the groups, in that group, I had a friend that he wasn't working, right? So I was like, I knew he used to work offshore, like in the oil fields. Yeah. He wasn't working. And I said, well, if he's not working, whatever he's doing must be way better than working on the oil fields. I'm like, all right, well, what? I need to find out what this guy's doing, right? And he said, he's trading Forex. So I was like, okay. And at that point, this is back in like May 2019.
Okay.
And I have the only trading I've ever heard about was stock trading, right? Yeah. So never heard of Forex before. So anyway, I left it for like a couple of weeks and then it just kept nagging on me, right? So I was like, all right, let me get on the phone and actually speak to him. So I called him up and then he was telling me everything about Forex and, how I can go about starting to learn it. And, well, that's pretty much it. So from that conversation, I was hell-bent on trying to figure stuff out.
That's amazing, man. So it's like May 2019. That's like almost 2 years now, this year in May.
Yeah, that's when I first heard about it. Yeah.
Wow. And how was your trading like before you joined Mission FX? And when did you join Mission FX?
So I joined, I'm probably a little bit different to the vast majority of people. So I joined a little bit late in my trading journey. So I joined in September 2020. Yeah. And I was actually already profitable, but I got really profitable just by following Nick's free stuff. So I saw Nick on YouTube and I was like, this guy is just he's making so much sense. And I got from his free stuff, I was able to get profitable.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, and then after a while, I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just join to kind of give back, right? I'm like, he did so much for me. So I just want to kind of be in a community, be around people that are like-minded and, kind of join that kind of community vibe.
Yeah.
And before I joined, I thought I'm the best trader on the face of the planet, right? But then after joining, there's so much that I still learned, right? Like, just like in the calls every morning that he has, course content, like the psychological part of it.
Yes, that's great.
I learned so much. So, I was probably like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was probably like a 3 grade trader.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm like a 5 or 6 grade trader, and
Wow.
I think I'm just getting better and better.
100%, 100%. And like, how did Mission FX change your trading? Like after like you were already profitable, is there like anything specific that stands out?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I joined Mission FX, so my average trade was like around 2 to 1, right? Sometimes it'll be like a 1 to 1, sometimes 3 to 1, but it just averaged out to just around 1.7, 1.9 or 2 to 1, right? And there are two major changes that happened for me. One was Nick taught me how to analyze my journal and get the best out of my trading ability. So there were things in my own trading that I didn't realize. And through like speaking with him and looking at his experiences and what he kind of preaches every day, it made me go back to my journal and look at my winning trades and figure out, well, what are the good things about my winning trades and what are the bad things about my losing trades?
Yes.
And what can make my winning trades even better, right? And
nice, man.
that was a light bulb for me.
Wow.
And so that took my risk to reward from like an average of 2 to 1. Now I'm averaging like 4, 5, or 6 to 1, right?
Wow. That's amazing.
And probably even a little bit higher sometimes.
Wow.
But yeah, that's been one major change. And the second major change was just the psychological aspect of it. Because like I truly believe like trading can be easy, like the technical aspect of trading can be easy, but the trader, like the individual themselves, is usually the person that gets, you get in your own way most of the time.
Yes.
And Nick kind of taught me about kind of managing that psychological aspect, and that's been yeah, worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely, absolutely. As they say, like the weakest link in a trading system is the trader who's executing the system.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And like, which part of the Mission FX course helped you the most, except for the psychological part?
Yeah, well, that's actually, so I guess the second part of it would be the, like not being stuck in that one mindset that, always trying to improve and always looking at, what you can be doing better, and don't just get stuck in this one mindset of I know one way to trade. This is the way to trade.
Well,
that was big for me, because that made me revisit my own trading and started to, start building upon it. That was
absolutely
big.
Absolutely. I think we should stick to our trading plan and etc., but we should not hold anything holy, like we should be able to challenge our own belief system no matter what we're doing. And like that's the only way to like improve and push through the boundaries and see what else can we achieve. So
Absolutely.
Gary, tell me about your system. I'm keen. Like, how does your trading system work with those crazy extra rewards?
Oh man, it's super complicated.
Okay, I'm up. Shoot.
So I trade exactly the same way that Nick preaches, and I know it sounds hard to believe for some people, but I just try to identify a clear trend on the daily time frame.
Yeah.
Look for clear market structure, so clear broken levels, zones as people call them. I look for price to come back to the zone, reject, and I trade in the direction of the trend. So break and retest in the in the direction of the main trend. And for the most part, like I do add some confluences, like maybe some Fibonacci, maybe a trend line, maybe some hidden divergence or regular divergence. It all depends, but at the bare minimum, break and retest in the direction of a trend.
Okay. You're right. That does sound super complicated. I'm just kidding. That's actually quite easy and doable. So like, how many hours do you trade and what times do you trade usually?
So I stick to, so I do my analysis on the weekly time frame, daily time frame to identify main market structure and trend. Then I drop to the 4-hour time frame to identify my zones. So I'll identify the rough zones on the daily time frame. Then I'll neaten the zones up on the 4-hour time frame.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll start to look for my decisive market structure, right? That's where I'll decide, true higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs, lower lows. Then I'll drop to the 1-hour time frame, neaten the zone up even more.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll start to look for my entries, right? So for me, I analyze every week religiously. So on a Sunday, I will sit down and do like 20 minutes analysis on every pair.
Mm-hmm.
I trade all the pairs. So I'll go through all the pairs for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just highlight each pair that I am interested in trading in like yellow on TradingView.
Yeah.
And then during the week, I only look at my yellow list. So, and because I make trading decisions on a 1-hour time frame, unless I have a trading decision to make, I'd only look at the 4-hour time frame. So as long as price comes back to that level, I'm not interested otherwise. So that results in me scanning the charts twice a day because I only trade the New York session. So yeah, I probably spend maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day scanning the charts.
Wow.
And that's pretty much it. So 20 minutes on the weekend and 15 minutes every day.
Wow, that's a very time efficient. Like you just cut everything out and just to the point, like what's the necessary steps need to be taken to execute a trade.
Yeah, exactly. Because like for me, trading the lower time frames or like looking at the charts all the time makes me feel anxious or like rushed, or it makes you feel like you're searching for something that's not actually there. So I'd rather set my charts up, set alerts, and if the alerts trigger, so be it. Then I'll come to the charts and do fresh analysis. So but that's just what works for me.
That's nice. And actually it's quite important to know like what works for you, what does not work for you. You know, like with time you test this thing out. Like for you, you prefer sticking to big to higher time frames, which is fantastic. This is good. And nice, man. And Jerry, what would you say? Where are you currently in your trading journey right now? Where you see it going?
Yeah, I think I'm fairly early in my trading journey because like I gained profitability probably in right around February 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So February 21 just marks 1 year of profitability for me.
Wow.
So in the grand scheme of trading, like as a career, I'm only just getting started. So, and I still trade part-time. So I work my day job and then, I trade part-time. So eventually, hopefully with momentum and just, compounding, I'd be able to transition to full-time pretty soon. But I don't know.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice. 1 year probability. That's actually a big mark. That's like a consistency over a few months. It's doable, but over a longer period of time, especially like 1 year, that's definitely a big mark. Wow. And that's
Thank you.
quite impressive. Absolutely, man. So let's get down to some numbers. What are your averages in the past months? Like how have you been doing?
So, right. So I got my journal just here.
Yeah.
So, like for me, January and February were phenomenal for this year.
Yeah.
March was really slow because we started to see a lot of those trends start to shift and make their pullbacks. And April's starting off really slow as well. But for January, just looking at my journal just here. So January, I closed off the month on 19R.
Wow.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was actually, so I made a tweak in my trading in December, right? That's when, so I joined MFX in September. I kind of found my feet around October, November.
Yeah.
Got really good with, understanding what Nick was trying to portray to me around December. That's when I took a step back and revisited my trading system. And then in January, lo and behold, I made 19 hour, like just like that.
That's
and then February, if you thought January was really good, February, I closed out February on 56 hour.
Wow. That's amazing. I think you don't need to trade for the whole year now. You got the whole year covered.
I can just pack it in, right?
Yeah, man. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah. No, it was really good. March, as I said, was really slow, so I closed off March on 6.6 hour.
Okay.
And then, I mean, March started really good. The first week of March, I closed off on 12 hour. But then the rest of the month was just really slow. Had a couple of losses. And so far for April has been really slow as well. But I'm sitting on 1.62 hour.
Okay.
But I haven't really traded much, and the trades that I did take didn't really propel into profit. They just came back for that break-even stop. So
that's absolutely fine. But even if you see your slow months are profitable and you're up, like last month, you're up 6.6 hour, which is amazing. Like even for a slow month, you're not in negative or break, which is, you're doing good, Jerry. You're doing really good.
Thank you very much, man.
Of course. Jerry, is there anything you could recommend people who are not yet profitable and still trying to gain their niche profitability? Anything that helped you maybe?
Well, the main thing that I can only speak from experience, right? So from my experience, what helped me become profitable was just removing all the noise. So I was a part of a lot of Forex groups and listening to a lot of people. And it was all that added noise it was not necessary. But then I found Nick, and thank God I did. And he just preached simplicity, right? Like stripping your system all the way back.
Yes.
To the point that you can actually explain it to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
If you can explain your trading system to a 5-year-old, then you pretty much have a good understanding of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's key, like understanding your trading system. Like if somebody says to you, how do you trade? You can just say, this is how I trade.
Yeah.
I think that's important because without that, you can't really get consistency.
No.
So I think focusing on stripping your system back, just focusing on the basics, understanding it, like understanding your system fully, then I think that's a really good place to be.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, because if you think today, like if you follow 4, 5, 6 traders on Instagram, YouTube, and God knows where, you think like the more people you're following, the more information you're absorbing, but it does the complete opposite. Like it just confuses you with, it's dangerous to follow and do multiple people and multiple things, because in the end, like nothing is probably going to work out because you're like distracted.
You're always like shifting around, right? Yeah.
System hopping, which is dangerous. And
I think Nick calls it shiny object syndrome.
Yes. That's also a good one. That's really a thing now. Shiny object syndrome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nick has pushed few things through. Nice, man. Awesome. Jerry, thanks again for taking time. It was awesome seeing you, and hope to see you in the live Q&A sessions, or the ones that me and Stefano do.
Absolutely, man.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Jerry. You have a good one. Take care.
All right. You too. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.